The ANDRA Drag Racing Top Fuel Championship ignited in 2013 with some tight side-by-side racing along with some of the unexpected. Here are all the finals from the 2013 season.
Interesting battle right here when you talk about the Sunraysia region in Victoria, the Mildura side of things. Lamattina not very far from Mildura, and Darren Morgan right there in the heart of it. He's a TAFE teacher at Sunraysia Tech, and the boys preparing to fire up the Aeroflow backed entry. Darren Morgan and Graham Cowan have long had a relationship over the years, and the Aeroflow company is one of the major brands of the rocket industry's business. As they fire up. Now Phil, disappointed big time with the throttle cable issue. He made that very clear.
Yeah, he had attitude written all over him about that, but unfortunately in our sport, little things happen like that can drive you to distraction, not only from a driver's perspective, but from a crew chief.
Both these drivers have their children racing in drag racing. Rocky Lamattina in the junior drags. Darren, his boy Rory, is racing these days. His daughter Caitlin is thinking about moving someday into the modified ranks. She's got a bit of a burgeoning modelling career going on at the moment. So, and of course, Will, very handy with the setup of these cars. So the whole Morgan family just live and breathe this, much like yours, Bruce.
Yeah. Well, drag racing as a whole, right across most of the classes, most of the races, the kids and the kids of kids are racing. You know, there's some people out there now, particularly with Jim and Steve Reid from Queensland. Daniel Reid races, so it's father, grandfather, father, son.
And there's Sarah Lamattina backing up Phil's wife, bringing him into stage as well. So I love the fact that there's such a huge emphasis on family. PavTech on board this weekend, and Morg's eyes straight down the 1,000-foot lane. Lamattina debuting the new Elders Insurance sponsorship as the boys scrub the rubber and get us ready for the final. Who's going to pick up top points in Top Fuel Round 1 of the ANDRA Drag Racing Series at Adelaide International Raceway? Massive crowd, 7,000 folks jammed in here. Field cars are awesome at any time of the day, but when you turn the lights on, it's just a little bit more special, isn't it?
It is. And Australia is one of the rare countries that races majority of their top fuel at night time.
Here we go, Morgs v Lamattina. Gee, that's a sweet looking car. Oh, red light on Lamattina. Oh my goodness. That is just crooned Phil Lamattina. Well, Morgs, 3 times in a row, straight down the 1,000-foot with no problems at all. Very happy team. Morgan scores the win. And Will, a happy boy, getting some cool shots there. Recently celebrated his birthday. Geez, Phil. No explanation for that.
No, just way early.
Not very often you see Phil do that.
No, there's no point on getting on his case because no one will be harder on Phil than Phil himself.
He had 6 wins and 6 losses last year in the championship. A win ratio of 50%, and that one went begging. Yeah, the boys saw it. The Morgan guys saw the red light very early.
An exceptionally good run from both cars, no tyre smoke, straight down the groove. Phil was a little wild here and there, but Darren's car straight down the groove for an unexpected win, I would say, in the sense that when he saw Phil out there so far, he thought he probably didn't have the race covered.
So Darren Morgan wins the first round of the Australian Top Fuel Championship here at Adelaide International Raceway, and Phil Lamattina will kick himself for the full 5 hours drive back home. Let's go down to Summer in Sid Chrome Victory Lane.
4.47 you get at red light for Phil.
I couldn't work out how he's out there so early. He must have counted the tree. It's not the way to win. Cowan always told me you're better off with a slow light than a red light. Thanks, GC. We made it. I've got to thank Theo, as we call it, the PavTech Top Fuel Drags for this weekend, and Crow Cam's got behind us this weekend. We haven't got a sponsor, and those guys jumped in, and they're the only reason we're here this weekend, and thanks very much, guys.
Let's say we saw you looking pretty calm from start to finish. Did that follow you through the day? You stayed focused, do you think?
My team aren't really happy with me being calm all the time because it reflects in my lights. But anyway, this time it paid off.
The immaculate Elders Insurance Fuchs Lubricants dragster can do the job. Darren Morgan in alongside him. A great rivalry, a pair of Victorians from the Sunraysia region squaring off for the Nationals.
Should be a good run. got Tim Adams on board there, giving Aaron Hambridge a hand with the tune-up.
So Lamattina coming back, Morgs to the left of screen. Of course, Lamattina's with Darren Morgan, won an Australian Championship together, with Morgs driving in 2005. 2009, Phil came back and won the championship for himself for the family team.
Yeah, Darren had a very good, stellar year in the first year out with the Lamattinas. I think from my foggy memory, they won every race.
Crow Cam's on board with Morgs this weekend. Big thanks to Russell Garner, who helped to bring the whole team across to Sydney. They had a few people doing a crew for a day competition as well this weekend. They got to hang around the team and be involved in the White International Star Willie Tools entry. They also had some folks from Ausdoc Inc., which is a great charity group that got really involved in this team as well. So Darren's always looking for new ways to market his team and get more folks involved on a sponsorship base for the operation. As you can see, a lot of little sponsors on the side, no big one, and that's what you need.
There's a lot of blank space on that car, Wade, that certainly needs filling.
Here we go. Oh, Lamattina had that! And Morgan pinched it out of his back pocket. It was ugly towards the end. The Morgan team rejoicing. Lamattina had that.
The car started fishtailing. If you watch Phil's car on the left, it starts sashaying. He's got cylinders out, which cuts the power down. I mean, he did a pretty good job to keep it in the middle of the lane, but Darren just had the top end charge to run him down.
He's looking at it again. Lamattina out beautifully. Had it. Then he didn't.
478. This is yours. You've backed up Adelaide. Well done.
Yeah, for the Bucksdown team, we're probably doing okay, I guess. And thanks to the people that got us here. Crow tipped in some money this weekend, just a little tiny bit to help us out to get us the rounds, and Shannon's are still with us, so thanks, guys. And we've got some people we're looking after this weekend as well, so thanks to everyone.
You always seem really happy whenever you're going into the competition, but deep down, did you feel like this was going to be yours?
Maybe we don't tool up to lose, because they say it's all mental, and a lot of it is. I guess the guys, they turned around the car perfectly. We had an engine change yesterday that took an hour and 40 to, on the ground, restarted. Like, outstanding. These guys here, without them, this would just be an ornament in a shed.
Time now for the final of Top Fuel. Round 3 of the Australian Top Fuel Championship, the ANDRA Drag Racing Series here at the Perth Motorplex in Kwinana Beach. And out comes Lamattina. Now, spare a thought for Phil. This is the third consecutive time he's been to the finals. He red lit at Adelaide against Darren Morgan. Morgs was strong in round 2 and took care of him there. He doesn't want to go down at the hands of Mark Sheehan.
Yeah, I think he'll just be happy to be racing somebody other than Darren Morgan in the final round. You know, he's been to 3 consecutive final rounds, as he said. Not a bad season by anyone's stretch of the imagination, but these guys are competitive. They like to get out there, they like to lay down the numbers, and they like to win. And so far, anything short of a win is unacceptable for these guys, so they really want to get it.
Well, coming into this event too, on the strength of that 466 with a 2 in that previous run, a 522.8 kilometre-an-hour run, Lammy maybe will be satisfied with some good times, an outstanding ET, and excellent kilometre-an-hour.
Now, Mark Sheehan, he is no pushover whatsoever. Got over the reigning Australian champion and 2-time winner so far this season, Darren Morgan, in the first round of racing. So he is no dark horse here. He has shown his hand. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Went 485 in the first round. Obviously no match for a 466. But this is drag racing. We run them out on the track. We don't run them on paper for that very reason.
And to for Sheehan's credit, he doesn't do as much racing as Lamattina by any means. The West Aussie waiting for a start. I wonder how the cylinder heads are faring. The Alan Johnson influence in this team. The American crew chief. Very good launch. Nothing in it at the lights. It's a pedal fest. Sheehan will get there. An ugly run for both of them. They were both double-stepping, triple-stepping it. Lamattina for the 3rd time in a row does not quite get there, and the Sheehan boys are amped.
Wow, you can see Lamattina got out in front and smoked the tyres. He pedalled it a couple of times trying to get that thing to hook up. Look at the violence, picks up the front end on the pedal. That is a huge driving job from Phil Lamattina, but not enough to get the win. And that's 2 in a row at the Golden Stakes for Mark Sheehan. That is a huge run for those guys.
Mark Sheehan, well done. 540, the title is yours again, backed up from last year.
Yeah, pretty cool run. We left pretty hard. It shook. Windscreen just broke up everywhere, but Phil hadn't gone past me, so I knew it was still right, so I just pedalled and got into it and just gets me way through the dark.
First time with the new cylinders, but you've obviously handled the power beautifully. You've got to be pleased with your efforts. Did you see it coming?
No, I didn't, because we lost our opportunity with the weather on Wednesday testing. And we're still not where we need to be and where we want to be, but we're obviously getting there.
All right, moving on to the final now. This is going to be a cracker. Damien Harris in what could be, or in what is his last weekend with the best tractor parts team as it stands at the moment, taking on Phil Lamattina in the Chrome Bullet.
Remarkable that Lamattina should be in his 4th consecutive final and has yet to win one of those. He rolls out the Fuchs folks along with Elders back on board for 2013 for Lammy, and why wouldn't they be? How professional is this team? Harris, of course, who's very stout around here and ran 2nd in the championship last year. So this really is a battle of the heavyweights. Morgan, no doubt, watching this one from the stands, getting fired up about tomorrow night with round 5. So Harris up against Lamattina. This could be an epic battle.
Yeah, indeed it will, Wade. And Lamattina welcoming a new sponsor this weekend as well, 60 Foot Clothing on board, helping them out as well. So good to see some new sponsors coming into the sport.
Damien Harris has not been on a racetrack since the Winter Nationals, June 2012, the best tractor parts racing team to come in from that distance and then come straight back into a final is a pretty solid result for this team.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And Damien Harris, he's a very, very experienced driver. He's raced both here in Australia, he's raced in the United States in the NHRA in Top Fuel, raced against the best in the world with the Rakasada team. So he is not short on experience by any stretch of the imagination.
This could go either way. Lamattina openly admits that they've dropped the ball a couple of times at critical moments in the championship so far. Time now to smack one out of the park. What can Harris do with him? Crowd on the edge of their seats here waiting for the final of round 4, the ANDRA Australian Top Fuel Drag Racing Championship from the Motorplex. Lamattina to your left, Harris in the far lane.
Deadly even off the start line, side by side across the finish line. Lamattina gets there, a 473 to a 477. You could not split them until they got to the finish line. What a final round here in Perth.
Nothing in it in terms of ET, but how about the difference in speed? Lammy, a 515k an hour run, and the Fuchs Elders 60-foot clothing gang are wrapped with that. Finally, he ends the drought. Not since 2010, and the boys still a right grin on the Harris guys then.
Well, it's pretty hard to be upset when you go out and run a 477 on a very, very hot track. Very tough conditions for these cars this weekend. You run a 477, you give it your best shot, and you still come up short. Well, that's the way drag racing goes sometimes.
That's a great spectacle for Top Fuel too. Everybody with the candles fully lit. Lamattina, your winner. He'll catch up with Summer at the end of the quarter mile here. That thing tracked pretty nicely. There was no to wander a little bit towards the end, but Lammy finally gets the win.
And Damien Harris, have a look how far past the finish line he drove this thing. He wanted to get the win. He was well and truly past the cones before he was off the loud pedal.
477, fastest time. You got the fastest time last time here, and the bridesmaid tag is
bent. Gone. Thank you. Like I said, we've been working pretty hard, and got to thank Aaron. He's slowly progressing the tune-up. And, for Fuchs, they're stuck by us for so long. And, we've been bridesmaid and we haven't won, and we've come runner-up a lot of times. But to get the win, it's just really, it's great because it's a long time coming. It's quite surreal, actually, because, it's been a while. And but I'm just, I'm happy, very happy.
And did it help earlier that you'd beaten Darren? The monkey was off the back.
Yeah, look, it's always like the cars that are here are great competitors, and it's, when you win, you earned it. So commiserations to Damien. Obviously it was a pretty tight race, which is great for the fans, and that's what it's all about.
Now Lammy, he broke the drought last night, hadn't won a final since 2010, the former Australian champion. Can he back it up and go 2 wins in a row? Harris would love to end that streak. It's really a carbon copy at least the way they stage from last night for round 4. Into round 5, Lamattina here with a chance to extend his lead over Darren Morgan as well.
Yeah, and Damien Harris, he's got a lot to play for here. It's the last run that he will ever make in this best tractor parts car as it stands at the moment with the crew that he's got on board. They are being disbanded after this weekend. He's moving across to race under the Sando Rapasada banner. So it's a pretty emotional time, I would say, for Damien Harris. They've had a lot of success in that car over the last couple of years. So he'll be sad to be stepping out of that seat.
Well, I'd say that it's not a decision he would have made lightly. The Carrot Kings, Fuchs, Elders, Insurance, 60-foot clothing, entry of Phil Lamattina. Remarkable the Sunraysia region should turn out 2 Australian champions. And when you look at motorsport in general, right across the board, so many greats in different forms of motorsport, in speedway motorcycles, in V8 supercars. Quite remarkable how much talent off-road racing as well the Mildura region churns out.
Of course, another young crew chief on board. That is Aaron Hambridge, a former top alcohol racer. Very, very good top alcohol racer, I might add. National record holder. Stepping up, he is a new crew chief on this car, has been for about 12 months or so. Really started to get a handle on the car this weekend, though.
Here we go, round 5 final. Lamattina closest to our camera. Damien Harris alongside him. Nothing in it in reaction, but it's gone. Lamattina doesn't even have to go the full distance. Harris had big issues off the line.
Yeah, they really hopped that thing up. They wanted to run a quick number and it just smoked the tyres right on the hit. It smoked them that quickly that I don't think Damien Harris was able to even catch it. It looked like it might have even lifted the blower there. And the Fuchs team, they are absolutely wrapped with that. They've gone 2.5 years nearly without a win. They've now got 2 wins in 1 weekend. You've got to be happy with that.
Who says you can't turn a top fuel dragster around? It might take you a little bit more than anywhere else. Oh, man, just ugly for Harris. It wasn't a pretty run by any means for Phil, but he really didn't have to do a great deal to get the win. Onboard shot showing the violence of top fuel racing. Well done, Phil Lamattina. 2 wins in a row, back-to-back, after an almost 3-year drought. He's answered very nicely as we head to Willowbank for the next round. He'll be very high on confidence.
Good driving job here as well from Phil Lamattina. The car stepped out right at the hit of the throttle. Being the experienced driver that he is, he got it through and gets across for the win.
Phil Lamattina, well done. Yours again, backed up yesterday's winning. Tell us how you feel.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty excited actually because, you know, we haven't been able to win for a long time, and now to do it twice in a row. Hats off to the boys. I'm not too sure what happened to Damien, but we might have got off a little bit scot-free there, the blower bell come off. But yeah, the car's been pretty competitive all weekend, so that's all we need to worry about. And you know, Fuchs, what can I say? Stuck and by us, and that's all good.
And how much of a bonus was it that you're capitalising on yesterday's winning form? Massive momentum coming into today.
Yeah, look, you know, this format, it's a little bit different, and I'm kind of liking it, obviously, because 2 wins in a row. So that's all I can say. And I just need to do one little thing, just a shout out to a good friend of ours up in Bundaberg, and doing it pretty tough with the floods and that. So just want to shout out to him.
And championship well and truly on. You'd be the leader at the moment now. It's looking good. Willowbank, here you come.
Yeah, no, Willowbank, here we come for sure. Bit of a buffer, which is always good. What we need to do is, like I said, just keep maintaining it. And, you know, Darren, never ride off Darren. You know, he come out #1 qualified today. So he's got a tough car. He's a tough competitor. And so, yeah, what can I say?
Stay with us. More explosive Top Fuel highlights right after this break.
Atop that, what an unbelievable result for Larry Dixon. That'll be getting back home very, very quickly. Larry's website, very quickly updated too. He's got a lot of people over in America watching what he's doing down here. Let's turn our attention right now to that K-Trans entry. Keith Middleton, a great sponsor of motorsport right across Australia, based out of Western Australia, is K-Trans. And recently been sponsoring, of course, Mark Drew. They're involved with his top bike. They sponsored the Australian Sidecar Championship recently at Gilman in South Australia. And only too happy to put Morgs' rocket on the road to Willowbank. Alongside the man who wants to go back-to-back, Steve Reed. What a remarkable weekend for him so far.
It's been a phenomenal weekend for Steve Reed. Has not been outside of the 4-second zone all weekend long. Now, this will be the 6th pass, so 6 consecutive runs, if he can do it in the 4-second zone, that is some kind of consistency, let me tell you. And in top fuel, in this day and age, consistency is what is going to win you races.
Well, he's had a remarkable career. Raced, you heard him speak about it earlier, raced in the United States of America there, was happy to rattle a few cages. raced in the UK, recently inducted into the British Hall of Fame, the Drag Racing Hall of Fame. Morg's a 3-time Australian champion out of a little spot known as Mildura in Victoria, where so many motorsport champions have hailed from. As we get set, cooler conditions. The Nitro Champs looming in a couple weeks' time, May 3 to 5 at Sydney Dragway. These guys facing up as they did last night, Rusty. Who's going to have the job done tonight?
Oh, very close on reaction times. Morgan way out of shape. That is about as sideways as you can get a top fuel car without hitting anything. Well, Steve Reed, a 476. Did we expect anything else? 436 kilometres per hour. He gets the win. He is your Day 2 champion here of the Santos Crane Super 3 Extreme Drag Racing Series, and that was extreme. He was on fire in the braking area. Have a look at the drive job from Morgan to pull that thing up. Just missed the centre blocks. He's been loose all night, unfortunately. Reed has punished everyone with his consistency. 4-7, a great way to wrap up a domination here at Willowbank.
Darren, commiserations, not where you want to be in second place, but I mean the game on in terms of the championship. What happened in the ride?
It smoked the tyres again. I think that must be nearly 10 times we've smoked the tyres in that particular spot. So we've got to work out what's going on with this clutch pack and try and sort it out for next round. But we're leading the championship now, and that's pretty neat. I'm pretty sure we are, so that'll be good. So, yeah, I don't know. Back and figure out what the hell's going on.
Steve Reed, congratulations. There's very little words other than fairy tale and wow.
Yeah, look, we said we were going to come here and going to win. This is what we do for every meeting, and these guys, these crew guys, they've just been unreal, absolutely unreal. We turn the car around, just run forwards every single pass. We haven't really done too much damage, and they've just, I can't say enough about them.
Your world can change in 4 seconds in this game, in fact even less than that. Morg's a nice, big, powerful, smoky burnout, whereas Damien Harris, not traditionally known for that sort of thing. They generally get on it quick and get it back and staged.
Yeah, Morgan has been a real picture of consistency this weekend, and I think he's really looking to carry that over. Look for a really short burnout here from the Harris car. You can see it. Just a short, sharp, get the water off the tyres and get the tyres a little bit warm. The reason they're doing that is to try and limit the amount of fuel that they use in the burnout. The shorter the pre-race routine, the more fuel it's got at the top end of the racetrack, and hopefully the less carnage we're going to see out of the Damien Harris car.
Wouldn't it be nice just to see this guy get straight down the line without any flames? The BTP entry right there, fingers crossed for that whole team as the Rapisada guys swarm over the back. They get that track bar setting worked out, track temperature worked out. So much data gets collected on every pass.
Yeah, and still a very, very cold track temper at the moment. Very narrow window for the top fuel car. Have a look at this. The two Rapisada boys over in the far lane, only 20-odd years old between those two. You got young Ben Patterson as well on Darren Morgan's side. The future looks bright for top fuel racing, doesn't it, Wade?
Sure does. Waiting for a launch. Finals for top fuel at the Nitro Champs. Darren Morgan up against Damien Harris. Harris looking to create something spectacular here for a different reason. Side by side, great run for both of them. Oh, Morgan gets to the 474 over a 482, a great drag race. Still plenty of fire. Natalie Morgan, Darren's wife, big hugs for all the team there, but Harris has got to be a little bit more excited about the future after that.
Indeed he does. He got the thing to the finish line, and it almost got to the finish line before it erupted in the ball of flame. He was actually in front of Darren Morgan by the time he got to hard track. You can just see the nose of the car just starting to peak in front, got a little bit sideways, and well, that was all it needed for Darren Morgan to get through. What a run in the final of top fuel here at the Nitro Champs.
Not a bad drive job, was it, by Harris in the end? That thing was snaking all over the racetrack. Morgs wins the Nitro Champs, and now, low ET, mile an hour, top qualifier, and the win. Perfect weekend and good for points.
Darren Morgan now joins me. Twice I saw you at Willowbank runner-up, and this time it's yours.
Yeah, we had a few little dilemmas at Willowbank. We had a few this weekend too, and new clutch discs, and the boys fixed all that. We couldn't go fast all weekend because of trying to get on top of those clutch discs, so we couldn't stand on it. So that time there we had a little tickle at it. I don't even know what it ran, but it took the blower belt off it, shred that thing. But anyway, we got the win, and few more points and we're leading the championship, which is pretty cool for the little guys.
I was going to say reigning champ now leads, and game on for Lamattina and everyone else pushing behind.
Yeah, well, at least they're on the back foot, but they've been testing for a week, so they're trying pretty hard, those guys, and they'll fix it, and they'll be out there hitting us hard. So
Well done, Darren.
we'll have a bit of fun, eh?
I don't know that everybody expected Johnny to be in there alongside Darren Morgan.
No, and he's earned it. He has been driving that car really well. Good, sharp lights all weekend long, and he has earned his place in this final round against Darren Morgan.
Well, it's a big, big difference between licensing one of these cars, where you actually have to demonstrate your ability to handle a car at speed, to stage it, to burn out, to do all those things, to then face up in front of a huge crowd at Calder Park against the best in the country.
Yeah, and John has already stated that. He's come out and said, look, I've done my licensing. That's one thing. You can concentrate on what you're doing. You don't have to worry about your timing as far as the other guy in the other lane goes. He said when you come out here and race, it's a completely different deal. You've got to be very mindful of where the other car is in the lane, where they're up to in their process, and how far they are away from the staging beams. And he seems to be doing a pretty good job of it.
Morgan with 5 wins, 5 finals, I should say, and 3 wins from those. He's also been very busy with a 2-seat top fuel car as well. Morgs has always got something on the go. John Lamattina, the younger brother of Phil. What a massive contribution this family has made to the sport.
Oh, absolutely, and of course, Fuchs, it's got to be great for them to see this car in the final round. First-time driver, the title sponsor of the event, of course, presented by Crow Cams as well. And Darren Morgan racing back in Victoria. First time he's actually raced top fuel at Calder Park Raceway. It's quite phenomenal.
Absolutely. John with a licensing pass of a 467. Remember, that was a quarter mile. The youngest of the Lamattina brothers, now facing a triple Australian champion. What a debut. If he can put Morgan away, he wins the round.
Oh, it's a massive, massive race, this, and he also gives his brother a chance in the points.
Well, no pressure, John. Enjoy the experience. Here we go. Huge crowd here. Top fuel final.
Oh, the car for Lamattina moving around a bunch, and it looks like it ate some parts up. Darren Morgan, he's got a good barbecue on board with that thing as well, but he gets the win. 432 for Morgan, gets the win. Fantastic run for him. Lamattina, 455. You think the DMR guys are excited?
Little Natalie too almost got crushed in all those big man hugs. There's a lot of bromance going on. That was exactly the way you want to run for Morgs. It was a difficult run for John Lamattina, but a great drive job considering how much it was moving around. He wasn't going to get out of it.
Yeah, the car was moving around a lot, and a lot of sparks out of that car. In fact, both cars were eating up some parts there. On board with Morgan one more time. He gets the trophy, and he is going to be a very happy man with Summer Bow.
6 finals this season and 4 wins, and it looks as though you could have wrapped it up now. Have we done the math?
Oh no, it is what it is, but we're the guys from the bush, you know, the only regional based team in the country, paying out of our back pocket against all these people with all the money. Volunteer guys, thanks boys, because they did it.
Unfortunate really for Mr. Martis, another of the West Aussies, never really got going here this weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately, didn't end up making it into the second qualifying for Martin Martis. But he did have Phil Reid take over the seat for him, lost in the first round. But looking at these two cars on the racetrack now, this is a huge effort, and it can't be understated how much of a commitment it takes from the Rapasada guys to get these two cars on track, both here and then, of course, in the States as well. Tommy Johnson Jr., though, he has made no secret of the fact that he wants to get a win here. Every single country that he has raced in over the years, he's raced all across Europe, he's raced in the States, he's got at least one win in his career. He still doesn't have one from Australia, so this is a big, big moment for Tommy Johnson Jr.
Well, Damien Harris would love to add the 2013 Aussie Nationals to his list of credits as well, so don't think that there are any team orders. This is not Formula One. This is Top Fuel, baby. There are no team orders. It is just have at it, unleash 8,000 horsepower. Get yourself down the other end quick smart.
You know, the other thing that I love, Santo Rapasada, the team owner for these two cars, is standing dead in the middle of these two cars. He was standing at the back of the race, the start line, I should say. He has literally 1 foot on each side of the racetrack. That's commitment.
Well, he wouldn't have any emotional favourite in this. He just wants to see both cars get down the other end. You'd certainly have to think that whoever gets there first, really, from his point of view, is irrespective. Massive effort, as you said. The TitanCranes.com.au entry of Damien Harris closest to camera. The American, Tommy Johnson Jr., nothing in the lights. An 039 light for the American. and he will get the win of the Australian Nationals. Johnson, a 480, but tell you what, look at that, a 478 kilometres an hour for Harris. Gets a bigger speed, but can't get the win.
Yeah, he was coming home really hard at the top end of the racetrack. Again, so the Rapisada guys, they were going to be happy no matter what happened there. But Tommy Johnson Jr. gets a win. That was a driver's race again. He rolled it a little bit deep into stage, had to grab a handful of brake when it started turning the tyres. Harris was chasing him, but just couldn't quite get there at the finish line. Both cars dropping cylinders, but it's all the American for the 2013 Nationals.
Tommy, 480, and you dominate your sixth country. What are the words? What are the feelings?
I got to thank the Rapisada family. I mean, to give me the opportunity to come over here and race for him. And Damien, he's a great teammate, one of the best I've ever raced with. And it feels great to get that victory. I mean, the track conditions were so tricky all day long. And going into the final, I thought, you know, maybe if I can grab the brake about mid-course where it keeps coming loose and I could just tug on it a little bit. That's something I've done in the past. And it was just, I drew on my experience in the past, and I think it helped it enough to get down through there and run a pretty good number. But we blew it up again, but it turned on the wind light, so who cares?
Any chance we can seduce you back?
I told the boys this won't be the last time we race together. Just because I got a full-time ride next year doesn't mean I'm not coming back to see them.
What a great result for him, but Darren Morgan, take nothing away from him, his 4th Australian Championship out of little old Mildura. In fact, Sunraysia drag races, Morgan Lamattina 1st and 2nd in the championship. The Pom 3rd, Damien Harris got to 4th, good result for him.